call this beat Will Smith, cause it slaps hard. Hear it not when I pull up on your boulevard.
Somebody left a comment in the chat. They said, hey, I really like that video you released about how one of your subscribers can't get used to hotter women checking him out since he was so used to a certain type of woman checking him out. I'm dealing with it too, and I don't know how to adapt. Isn't that great? Well, it's a gift and a curse, because you spend your whole life not being able to get any women, and then you get women that are just kind of like, okay, and you think that that's it. That's the ceiling that you get, right? And then you get to where you have enough skill set and you've worked yourself up enough to where legitimately attractive, like 8s, 9s, and 10s are going to be coming to you and telling you how attractive you are. And I got to be honest, guy, it feels weird. And especially if you were in the practice, like, for example, from ages 0 to like 22, 23, right? I wasn't getting a whole lot of comments from women about how cute and attractive I was. I just wasn't, you know? So at the point where I started dating women that would tell me that, there's still a subconscious part of my mind that was like, that's still like, nah. Like you got the right guy. Is it somebody else behind me? Like it's me, right? Like it's me, right? And so I want you to understand that that feeling doesn't necessarily ever go away just because it's happening to you more and more, all right? And this is what I talk about on the show, where I say that sometimes if you've been a person that had a bad dating life and it's starting to get good, you have to really focus on ignoring what you're thinking and feeling and going with the evidence at hand. So if you're thinking to yourself, I'm an okay guy, these 3 girls in front of me are saying I'm so attractive, what are they talking about? Understand, one, that's just some leftover residual negativity, because when people weren't complimenting you or they were saying you were just kind of whatever, that you internalize that. And so your brain's going to now subconsciously be thinking that thought, right? So you got to understand that feeling is going to come, but that just because you had that feeling, that doesn't mean that your feeling is accurate, because the reality is you are one perspective and yours isn't always right. And so if I'm saying to myself, I'm not really all that attractive, and I have 3 girls in front of me that are saying I am attractive, I'm going with them. I'm sorry, because it doesn't matter. Your thoughts about you, they matter in the terms of you want to build up your self-confidence to be able to approach women. But in terms of how you ultimately feel about how you really look or how you judge your looks on a 1 to 10 scale, all that matters is, what is the consumer saying? If the consumer out there, which in this case is women, is saying that you are a dynamite 8, 9, and 10, you dress well, you smell great, you treat women good, you are able to help them feel good about themselves and establish trust in things, that's all that matters. And speaking of that, that's really what matters to women, because how you look aesthetically isn't nearly as important to them as how you're making them feel. So let's say, for argument's sake, you are a middle of the line 5, but you make women on dates feel like they're 11s. They're going to see you as an 11 because you make them feel like an 11. And all we care about is women's feelings and how they correlate with how they view you. You ain't got to be the best looking thing in the world, but if you make them feel like they have the best feeling in the world ever, and therefore their feelings, their emotions are tied together, then that's all they're going to judge you on. And so from their lens, they're looking at the lens of you as like, he's emotionally there for me. He makes me feel things. He's a great lover. He's taking me on all these adventures. And and this is the vessel that it's happening in. So now this vessel becomes a 10, even if the aesthetics of the vessel are a 10. And you got to understand, how we're viewing ourselves and how women are viewing us are totally different, because we judge women based on curves and a voluptuous shape and having like smoothness on their skin. And we're trying to think that they're going to do the same for us. And for the most of the time, that's not true. Like, I know there's a narrative out there about women want a guy with muscles and 6-pack abs, yada, yada, yada. I've never been that guy. I've never been a guy that's had 6-pack abs. I'm not flabby in any way, but I'm like, relatively lean. But, women across the board have told me, oh, you're so cute. You're so handsome. Oh my God, I just want to touch you all the time, blah, 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 blah. And I'm thinking like me with I can see a rib here, or me that didn't do his hair right today, or me that didn't maybe shave the right way, like me. Again, am I going to fight the person in front of me? Am I going to fight the customer? Is the customer going to come to my store and say, hey, I want to be with you, and me be like, oh, but I have these flaws in me, and oh my God, like why would I do that? I'm going to be like, if she don't see the flaw, it don't exist. You know what? You're right. Appreciate the compliment and move on. So understand, like I said, this may never go away in your brain, but that does not mean that you have to listen to your negative side. You can just be like, but she's saying I'm cute, I'm going to shut it up. Or they're going to say, Thank you very much, and move on. So that's the best you can do. That's what I do. Again, 41. I didn't really get into my dating stride until my early 20s. So I still recognize that I have initial thoughts that come up when women compliment me. I've just learned not to vocalize those. Because here's the thing. It's one thing if she says, hey, you're hot, and then you just say, okay, it is what it is. Appreciate it, blah, blah, blah. But at the point that you start saying, you think I'm hot, or oh my God, you think, oh, but what about this thing over here, blah, blah. Like now you're basically telling her she's wrong. You're telling the person that wants to buy you as the product that whatever they're thinking about you, how dare they? How dare they think that you're a hot guy when you know you're ugly? Doesn't even make sense, right? But that's what we do to ourselves all the time. So we have to get out of the habit of that and appreciate that somebody else is appreciating and seeing things about us that maybe we don't even see in ourselves, So hopefully that helps you out. And thank you for the comment down there.
You's a bad boy, but you can't stop, won't stop. You a high earning, high value, high class man. You a high earning, high value, high class man. You a high earning, high value, high class man. You a high class man. You a high class man. You a high